Big Six.
Richard, let's get to it. What's your one big thing this week?
Really interesting. Lots of choices this week, and maybe next week. I want to do one on esports, but this week we had a very interesting article come out in Al Monitor. If we haven't talked about Al Monitor before, I think we have. It's a great publication. It's really an informative, fair, balanced publication on all of the Middle East. So this was an article by Salam al-Sayed on Saudi Arabia's crypto economy. Let me basically just crib it for you. Saudi Arabia ranked as the country with the highest growth volume of cryptocurrency transactions globally over a 12-month period, according to New York-based blockchain analysis firm Chainalysis. This in its 2023 Geography of Cryptocurrency report. The kingdom saw a 12% increase in crypto transaction volume, reaching nearly 31 billion from July 2022 through June 2023. So that was a leading increase globally. Followed, Vietnam came in at 11.6, Nigeria 9%, Spain 6.9%. So, and now we're shifting to the MENA region. Since 2019, the MENA region is the sixth largest crypto economy globally, valued at 390 billion. For perspective, North America is 1.22 trillion, Western Europe's 1.07 trillion. So obviously it lags there, but it's interesting because it's considered, MENA, again, the crypto market, is considered the fastest growing globally, again, from July 2021 through June 2022, receiving $566 billion in cryptocurrency, which is 48% higher than the year before. This is interesting. According to Kim Grauer, who's director of research for Chainalysis, this growth, 48% growth, is especially striking because it was in the midst of, and you know this, Lucian, a really bearish crypto market. I mean, the total value fell from more than 2 trillion in January 2022 to about 800 billion last December. So it's been a sort of a brutal time for crypto overall, but MENA growing nicely, Saudi Arabia growing faster than anywhere. Again, according to the Chainalysis report, the MENA region saw a rise in crypto adoption given its high youth populations, transacting online, need to overcome economic hurdles such as sanctions and devalued currencies, and due to the impact of clearer regulatory frameworks in some countries. Again, according to the Chainalysis report, leading the way in terms of sort of the regulatory environment is the UAE. Mazen Selhab, who's chief market MENA strategist for the global online investment and trading firm BD Swiss, said the numbers show that, this is quote, the numbers show that 35% of the UAE population are investing in crypto, one of the highest percentages in the world. And so UAE, along with Singapore, essentially have the highest public crypto adoption rate globally. In Saudi Arabia, returning to Saudi Arabia, again, Salhab with BD Swiss rather. He notes that SAMA, Saudi Arabian Monetary Agency, has not embarked on a similar regulatory journey as the UAE. Yet its fast-growing adoption rate and its position as the Arab world's largest economy will make it a competitive market to watch out for the region. Quote, this is Salhab. There's a growing interest among young Saudis in crypto. Young Saudis make up the majority of the country's population in crypto buyers. He said, then you've seen this, Lucian. He said, quote, the traders in Saudi Arabia are risk takers, not only in the crypto asset market, but across the board. This is the best scenario that crypto firms are looking for. The conclusion here is that, SAMA is unlikely to add new crypto regulations anytime soon. But the kingdom's economic momentum, sort of coupled with that, the regional leaders, UAE, and also coupled with the sort of the habit and the inclination of a very young investing population, bodes well for crypto and sort of decentralized finance industry in general in Saudi and the region going forward.
Just this podcast title is going to get so many comments on our different various pages.
Oh, yes, that's
so
true.
Many people love commenting about crypto, and different investment opportunities. It's probably the biggest comment that
I
we
hadn't
get. I
even thought
think a
about
lot of
that.
them are bots, but I think they just realize like, hey, there's a lot of people, there's a large audience here. So
Yeah.
let me just quickly mention a new coin that I've come out with. No, I think this is really good. Just a few thoughts. One is, Web3 has kind of become this like catch-all term, and that includes blockchain and then cryptocurrencies, NFTs, things like that. It's sort of got a bit of a bad name right now after FTX and that collapse, and then some of the other sort of big scandals that have happened in the industry, the hype that led up to it during the pandemic, leading really, and then collapsing with FTX's collapse. And it really directly affects what we're going to be talking about with Amjad Ahmed next, which is the VC ecosystem, not just in the region, but globally. People got really burned on Web3 investment. And there's a little bit of hesitation about Web3 and cryptocurrencies and blockchains and all of that, because they sort of seem like, oh, it was a thing. And, the hype is over, and Bitcoin isn't going to be $1 million, and things like that. But I do think it is here to stay and it's permanent. It's just not, now you have AI as the chic investment and the chic thing that is going to change the world. 2 years ago was Web3. But it is interesting to see that, the region is embracing the technology cautiously. And you have to applaud them for that, because when it was being hyped and was the next big thing, they could have leaned in a lot harder and would have therefore gotten burned a lot harder as well. And I think their sort of measured approach to this, and we'll talk about this again with Amjad, but their interest in making it region wide and collaborating with their neighbors, Saudi Arabia, the UAE, Kuwait, Qatar, Bahrain, et cetera. I mean, making sure that they're a little bit on the same step is a good idea. So I like this, Richard, and I think it's really interesting. I am also a little bit concerned as well, because the region does kind of run a little bit behind the globe when it comes to this stuff. So if they are the fastest growing, hopefully they don't experience the same sort of issue that the West experienced. Not the West, really. I mean, FTX and the other firms in China. So
Yeah.
I love cryptocurrencies, and I love them less than I did before, but they are, I think that it is the future, but I don't think I don't think it needs to be some gold rush or some overhyped thing that is making millionaires overnight. It's an actual application that can be used if it's used properly.
I see the next, well, and FTX obviously bid it. Binance is having trouble. One of in this article, one of the things they point out is that the guardrails in the UAE are pretty strong, and it's helped with investor confidence. I've always been suspicious about crypto and NFTs and anything like that. I think the next big thing, I think the really important next step is decentralized currency, central bank currency. So digitized central bank currency, and that I think will transform a lot of banking and a lot of transactions and cost of transaction, that sort of thing. So I don't know the area super well, but I've always shied away from something I don't understand. I never understood it. Seemed very notional to me, but I think it is true. You have in Saudi, you have a significant percentage of the population with some money with a very high tolerance for risk. And you can see why, a crypto, if crypto might be attractive here, because you need to have a little bit of, I won't say the term, but you gotta have a tolerance for risks to dive into this.
Yeah. Or just you don't care if you lose all your money.
It's sort of the same thing.
Yeah, exactly.
But you can afford to be, take risks. You and I can't do that.
Yep. Never invest what you can't afford to lose, as is the number one axiom in investing. But yeah, I mean, I think, just sort of to add to what you were saying, I think that there was a period like earlier, maybe in 2023, where people were expecting all the major cryptocurrencies on global exchanges to go right back up to where they were again and blow past that. And you didn't see that, but you also didn't see them go back down to zero. So like there is sort of this appetite for it. It's just not as chic, and it isn't like driven by sort of mania, which is good, which is definitely good. But yeah, keeping our eye out for Saudi coin
and all those crypto comments on this segment.
Yes, thank you for all of your comments. We will not be investing in whatever you're pitching. However, we appreciate any and all comments that we get on all of our channels.